She just reduced 21 years of royal marriage to 3 words and made the palace PR machine look like it's still buffering. Zara Tindall, the Windsor who treats protocol like a speed bump, just dropped the most honest line you'll hear from a royal this year, and every perfect couple press release looks fake next to it. If you're still watching, you clearly love this kind of content. So hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. Here's the line that detonated across royal watchers and group chats everywhere. When asked for the secret to her marriage with former rugby star Mike Tindall, Zara didn't perform the fairy tale. She shrugged and gave us the truth. Nothing runs smoothly. Not a slogan. Not a spin. A reality check. And then she doubled down. Marriage is a work in progress and you've got to have fun. That tiny moment did more to humanize royal relationships than a decade of glossy portraits, because it finally said out loud what everyone quietly lives. Love is maintenance, not magic. Let's unpack why this lands so hard. 4 generations. The family motto might as well have been silence as strategy. Never complain, never explain, never confess that you hit the same potholes as everyone else. But the public has changed. We don't believe in immaculate highlight reels anymore. We believe the people who admit the mess and show the method. Zara didn't hand us scandal. She handed us a manual. Accept the bumps, keep the banter, and stop grading your relationship against a fairy tale that never existed. Context matters. Zara grew up close to the crown, but deliberately outside its tightest grip. Princess and refused titles for her children, giving Zara something Windsor world rarely offers: oxygen. She built her own identity first, Olympic silver medalist in eventing, then her marriage. That order matters. And Mike? He's the guy who learned under stadium floodlights that success is rehab, repetition, and getting back up. No one who's spent a career smashing into human walls for 80 minutes thinks happiness is smooth. They know it's earned. Their marriage philosophy isn't cynical, it's athletic. Review the tape, fix the shape, play the next phase, keep talking. The timing of Zara's candor is perfect. Next summer marks 15 years married, 21 years together, 3 children, Mia, Lena, and Lucas, and 1,000 headlines survived. Most couples, royal or not, know exactly what she means. The early rush fades, schedules collide, bills and babies turn romance into logistics, and 2 people have to choose, again and again, to make it fun despite everything unfun. That's not settling, that's strategy. It's the difference between a curated portrait and a durable partnership. Now, widen the lens. Royal history is a graveyard of relationships that looked flawless in public and fractured in private. Appearances were the product, people were the cost. And then here comes Zara, no tiara, no title, standing at a microphone and admitting that the goal isn't to float above problems, it's to manage them honestly. That one sentence undercuts an entire century of palace mythmaking, and the reaction tells you where the audience's trust lives now. Social feeds flooded with most relatable royal comments, couples tagging each other. This is us, and headlines praising the candor. It wasn't messy. It was mature. Inside the institution, does honesty make anyone twitch? Possibly. There's always a wing of the palace that thinks truth invites intrusion. But the monarchy's modern survival depends on a brutally delicate balance: pageantry without pretending, dignity without distance. That's why Zara and Mike are such valuable outliers. They attend the big moments, they support the family, and then they go home, to jobs, teammates, muddy boots, and school runs. They don't monetize the mystique or perform perfection. They live, and occasionally they share. That's why people believe them. Let's rewind their origin story, because it predicts the tone. Sydney, Rugby World Cup, a bar, laughter, a number swapped. Not an arranged seating plan, not a choreographed, suitable introduction. 2 people meet in the wild, and click. When Mike proposed, Zara laughed before she said yes. If you want a relationship thesis, there it is. Laughter first. The wedding in Scotland honored her roots and sidestepped the circus. Since then, they've walked the razor's edge that slices so many royals, being visible without becoming a product. The secret isn't hiding, it's having a center. What exactly did Zara's 3 words unlock? First, permission. Couples watching at home felt seen. You can love someone and still admit Tuesday was terrible. You can be committed and still confess you're improvising. Honesty doesn't weaken a marriage. It stops it from snapping under fake expectations. Second, a blueprint. Work in progress is not an apology, it's a plan. It means you schedule the conversation you'd rather avoid. You protect the date night that's easy to cancel. You apologize first when you're both stubborn. You measure success by recovery time, not by the absence of conflict. Third, a priority. Fun isn't frivolous. It's fuel. Banter, Inside jokes and shared mischief are the elastic that lets a relationship stretch without breaking. Here's the part most people miss. Resilience is relational cardio. Mike understands that from rugby, systems shape small wins that become momentum. Zara understands it from sport discipline, coaching yourself through fear, resetting after a rail falls. Translate that to marriage and you get habits, not heroics. A weekly reset chat, a standing plan with friends, a non-negotiable family ritual that reminds everyone why the grind is worth it. Smooth is a fantasy. Rhythm is a choice. Now compare the Tindalls' connected but independent setup to the two common royal extremes. On one side, the fully working royals. Duty first, life scheduled to the minute, privacy traded for the institution's needs. On the other, the step-back model. Total independence, total exposure, and often, total turbulence. Zara and Mike live in the middle lane, and that lane might be the monarchy's best long-term asset. They show that you can be pro-family without becoming palace furniture and relatable without becoming reality TV. Will Zara's candor nudge others? Quietly, it already has. You see measured glimpses of real family life from William and Catherine. You see public conversations about mental health and parenting pressure. The culture inside the firm is bending toward human without breaking tradition. Zara can go further because the stakes are lower, but the direction is the same. Stop acting like you live in a snow globe and start talking like you live on Earth. Let's turn this into takeaways you can actually use, because that's what separates a nice quote from a working model. First, name the turbulence. Nothing runs smoothly is step one. Step two is specifying where the gears grind. Money stress, time poverty, mismatched expectations about rest or social life. Vague problems never get fixed. Named ones do. Second, build micro-rituals. One 15-minute debrief walk can save a week. One joke you always recycle in an argument can defuse a bomb. Third, protect fun on the calendar like you protect work on the calendar. If the only time you laugh together is by accident, your relationship is living on leftovers. Fourth, detox your comparison diet. If you're measuring your marriage against the palace portrait or anyone's portrait, you're grading yourself against Photoshop. Fifth, embrace recovery speed as your KPI. Healthy couples don't avoid conflict, they repair it faster and cleaner. What about the kids? This philosophy raises three humans who learn that love isn't brittle. Mia, Lena, and Lucas don't watch two curated avatars glide through life. They watch two flawed people work, laugh, apologize, and try again. That's not just good marriage modeling, that's good life modeling. It teaches them to expect effort from themselves and grace for others. And yes, there's a reputation dimension here. In an era where public figures are either insanely curated or constantly chaotic, Zara and Mike are building an old-fashioned thing: credibility. You trust people who tell the truth even when there's no applause in it. You root for couples who admit the grind and still choose joy. That's why the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive, because honesty scales. It crosses borders, it crosses class, and it crosses the moat around Windsor. Oh, where does this go next? Don't expect a confession tour. Expect exactly what we've seen: selective openness, family-first priorities, occasional moments that remind you the Windsors are people with muddy boots and loud kitchens. If anything, that model will become more valuable as the monarchy continues to streamline.